The Prospector podcast season 12 has been full of surprises, but there possibly wasn't a bigger surprise in 2025 than the face of wrestling, both domestically and internationally, turning into the villain he swore not to become. John Cena, finally a heel. Hey John, we can see you now. We're not just covering wrestling, however, we're also covering how the Prospectors spent their spring break, specifically the group hike taken by UTEP student media. And after that, we're closing off with the state of the pop industry. Is Sabrina Carpenter the next Taylor Swift? Do boy bands come back? What's the state of music and which people love? We'll discuss it here on the Prospector Podcast Season 12, Episode 5. The Prospector Podcast has been undoubtedly unpredictable. But guys, I didn't have it on my 2025 bingo card that John Cena, the hero of wrestling all throughout the world, was going to turn into a bad guy. But that's exactly what happened. And in order to discuss John Cena's heel turn on essentially everybody, we needed an expert, which is why we called on Elias Segura, lifelong WWE fan who's repping the Royal Rumble winners merch. Jey Uso, yeet! Thank you so much for joining us, Elias.
Thank you so much for having me, man. I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to be here with y'all.
Let's fill in the context for everybody in here. John Cena, Joseph Ezekiel Montero down to my right. Yeah, this is my right hand. Yeah. Kristian Hernandez down to my left. They're my co-hosts. Cam Mason couldn't make it today. Cam, we miss you. I think I drove him a little too crazy already. But how much do you guys know when it comes to wrestling? How well versed are you?
Honestly, not very well versed, other than the pay-per-view events. Like
That's
really,
it?
the really, really big ones, and like I'll see it. But like, do I know the lore of like the whole WWE? Absolutely not.
Come on, man. That's distasteful. How about you, Kristian?
I had a little stint when I was like in 8th grade where I saw a little bit of wrestling. I remember I talked to you about it. Do you remember what
We
it
were
was
talking
called?
about it earlier. You were talking about Sting. I know you mentioned
Sting, and then what was his name? AJ or
AJ
Angel?
Styles, yeah.
Yeah, I
We're
remember.
also
I saw a
talking
little
about
bit.
Kofi Kingston.
Yeah,
Oh,
a
yeah,
little
yeah.
bit. I saw a little bit of that, and then recently during spring break, I remember I told Elias this was like perfect timing because I started watching Maven Hoffman. So that's his name. He was a former wrestler in like 2001 to 2005
ish. Yeah.
So seeing him wrestle, he talked about who he wrestled with and all the dynamics. I started watching that. I thought that was really interesting. So that's my context.
So when you're talking about John Cena, then what usually comes to mind when you think of the Invisible Man? Okay, Elias, how long have you been watching wrestling for?
I was a little bit of a more of a fan back when I was way younger. I had a SmackDown versus Raw like 2010, I believe, on my DS. But after that, I really fell out until last year when one of my friends who is a really, he's been a fan for a really long time. He got me into it with last year's Royal Rumble. And ever since, I can't stop thinking about it, to be honest.
All right, well then, we can discuss it now. John Cena turned heel at the Elimination Chamber after Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, which also, by the way, is back, and it feels like we're living in surreal times. John Cena's back, and he's a bad guy. The Rock is back, and he's a bad guy. Well, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson made the offer to the current WWE champion, face of the company, quarterback one, whatever you want to call him, Cody Rhodes, that if Cody Rhodes sold Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson his soul, then The Rock would get Cody to heights he could never experience. Cody rejected the offer, and as John Cena, the Elimination Chamber winner, who will face him at WrestleMania for the very title, went in to hug him, gave him a low blow. And just like that, the hearts of Cena fans shattered all over the world. Cena sold his soul and now responded to the fans as saying that he does not care about them because he has been treated poorly for so many years, and even pointed to a kid and said everyone in here is bad, including that kid. Oh, Elias, you know what I'm talking about.
I saw that.
He was decked out in Cena gear. Yeah. So how big is this to the world of not only wrestling, but to pop culture, to see Cena, an icon, be turned into a bad guy?
I think it's absolutely huge, especially because I personally expected Cody Rhodes to turn heel this year.
You thought Cody was turning heel?
I wanted it. I really wanted it. I would think if we would have had a Homelander-style Cody, it would have been awesome. And seeing, Cody have this interaction with The Rock, I was like, I think this is the time. I think this is what's going to happen, especially after the match he had with Kevin Owens a while back in the Royal Rumble. I was like, now is the time. And then Cena hit that low blow, and I was astounded. I can't even begin to explain the surprise I had because, again, as you mentioned earlier, 20 years this man, babyface, 20 years of going to Make-A-Wish to help these kids feel better about the situation they're in. 20 years, and now he kind of threw it all away.
I don't know how true this is, but I ran into an Instagram post saying that the WWE, again, you need to fact check me on this, but I ran into a post saying the WWE trademarked Break a Wish because John Cena turned heel. He had the most Make-A-Wishes, I think, out of anybody in the whole program. As Elias was saying, the face that runs the place. He was the representation of WWE, and now he has turned his back on the fans because the fans did nothing but boo him. And that is the most justified heel turn I think that there is. Absolutely. For common fans, real fans of the WWE hated Cena. They thought he was fabricated. They thought he was overpushed. One of his nicknames was Super Cena because he kept winning and winning and winning. And he originally was going to turn into a bad guy last decade. They pulled the plug because he was selling well with the kids. There was merch. There was money on the line. But now, last May in Toronto, the place where he turned heel in February or in March, the Elimination Chamber was in March. It feels like so long ago from now. The days keep going by. But John Cena announced his retirement. Is it smart to have him be a bad guy the last year of his WWE career?
I absolutely do think it is. I think that because he has gone in many interviews explaining kind of the art of wrestling and what it means to be a babyface and what it means to be a heel. And he has explained a lot about what he's wanted to do, about how he's wanted to go against everything he's done. His loyalty, he doesn't want to be loyal anymore. He doesn't want to hustle no more. This is the last time, and I think now is the best time for him to be heel. Really.
From when he entered right off the bat, guys, this is just me and Elias geeking out about wrestling for 10 straight minutes. I mean, this is huge. No, because like what comes to mind, Kristian, when you think about Cena?
How I think about it is like it's gonna be his last season, correct?
It's last year. He's done.
I'm thinking about what plot lines they're going with because I would like a hero's journey where it's like live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
That's exactly what he is.
And I would love to make it like an abstract thing. It's like what is a villain in the WWE? I would love for him to do that. It's like and then people still love him, like the Undertaker. He's considered a villain, correct?
No.
What is he? It's something that you're still loved by the fans. Or Stone Cold Steve Austin. Stone Cold. He was more like the rebel.
The concept that you're thinking of is a tweeter. So it's not a baby face. It's not a heel. It's a tweener.
Look, tweener. So much lingo right now.
Yeah.
Like a tweener?
There's a lot. Yeah, it's a tweener. So right in the middle. But John Cena is not that. He said in this promo, I am not a baby face. I am not a heel. I am a human. And none of you have ever asked me how I'm doing or have cared about me. It's just because what you can get. Oh, John Cena's coming to a town. What can I get? Oh, John Cena's coming to visit me. What can I get? But you've never asked me the human side of myself, and it's because of that I turn on you.
But he told that to a kid. I do. If I was
he did.
That would be a core memory for me.
He's been booed all of his career. In 2011, Elias, you can maybe know what I'm talking about. No, I know what you're talking about. He fought CM Punk in CM Punk's hometown. John Cena was supposed to be the good guy. He got booed. He fought RVD and ECW One Night Stand. John Cena was supposed to be the good guy. The guy had to come down with his cap down to his eyes, holding the WWE title in front of him. Nothing. With signs saying, if Cena wins, we riot. With stuff being thrown at the ring to the supposed hero of the WWE. I'm heartbroken that Cena's a heel, but this is really justified.
Absolutely.
I think so. As an outside observer and like kind of not really knowing a lot about wrestling, but hearing all of this, it makes sense. Absolutely. It makes sense for his decision, especially like because it's his decision. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And like you were explaining like the art of being a wrestler and how it's a performance. And like, of course, yes, they're athletes. Of course, I mean they have to stay in good shape and stuff. But it is a performance. Everything's an act. So I mean, like just the way you're explaining it, it absolutely makes sense why he would choose this path rather than choose the hero's journey. Like, I really do like that.
I think also when you look back on it, because when you see something that's far from done, when everyone's retired, it's like, oh, but they were just this and this. I feel like having that little stint where he is a heel is going to help later in his legacy moving on.
Now, here is the pressing question. It's Cena's last year. He's going after title number 17. If he wins the WWE Championship at WrestleMania 41, John Cena will be the person who has won the most WWE Championships in history. Yet he's retiring at the end of the year. Cody Rhodes' reign has lasted At WrestleMania, it's going to be 1 year. Elias, do you put the title on Cena, let him carry it out as a heel until the end of his career, or do you neglect him the chance of title number 17 and keep it on the waist of Cody Rhodes?
I think that might be the right decision, especially because Cody Rhodes, his championship has been good.
So you give the title to Cena.
I would give the title to Cena just because I just don't think Cody Rhodes could do much else with the title right now. There's not much else I can see him doing, and I just think it's better for Cena to have his own heel run with it, and maybe I've been thinking about it, have Randy Orton be the one to dethrone him.
Not CM Punk.
CM Punk.
So for context, CM Punk and John Cena, huge rivalry as well. I mean, there's so many chapters that we can unveil, but we gotta hurry this segment up. Why Randy Orton over CM Punk? To those wrestling fans watching, you know exactly what we're talking about.
I honestly think CM Punk right now is having his whole issue with Paul Heyman and Roman Reigns. And I think it's better that they focus on that rather than John Cena and CM Punk. Of course, they have a lot of history, so I would not be disappointed if that were to happen. But I do think Randy Orton I don't remember exactly what record it is, but I do know that if he gets this championship, he will break another record as well. Randy Orton.
He also has 16, right? No, he has 14.
No, I don't. I think it was that.
He's around that.
Yeah, but there's another record that he was looking to break. I don't remember where I saw it, but I do remember that there is another record that Randy Orton could break by getting this. And also, Randy Orton is still doing really well. After he came back, he's in tip-top shape. Like, yeah, he's been in here for years, decades, right? But he is looking really, really good right now. I will be straight up honest with you. I'm not saying maybe Randy Orton is the best option, but I would be very pleasantly pleased.
Well, the truth of the matter is now, John Cena, that you're heel, we can truly see who you are. Elias, thank you so much for joining us. He's their advertising videographer. You can check out all of his content on the Prospector Facebook. He makes such great commercials. Elias, thank you so much for joining us. We'll see if Cena gets title number 17. I personally hope it stays around the waist of Cody Rhodes.
Okay.
So
I think
that's my take. I love the American Nightmare. What can I say? With Cody Rhodes all the way. But if that entices you to watch wrestling, then be my guest. You're watching the Prospector Podcast, Season 12, Episode 5. We just talked about the Invisible Man. Don't go anywhere else because exercise is still on our minds, specifically hiking, now that we're back from spring break. Stay tuned. You're watching the Prospector Podcast, Season 12, Episode 5. This is the first episode that we film after coming back from spring break, and I've got a gripe on this table. So all of the three people that you saw here went hiking during the break. I think twice, once before the break, and was Sebastian there? No.
Guess who was out of town when we went to go?
Guess who was in
hiking?
Ohio?
Who was in Ohio?
Who was in Ohio?
I can't hear you. Guys, I think my
Racking
mic,
up awards, though.
my headphones are going in and out. Nonetheless, I wasn't there. But I do need to know.
You were in the group chat.
You were in the group chat.
I was in the group
you
chat.
were included
You were invited.
technically.
All right.
Technicality.
I guess I lived it. I guess I lived it through a virtual experience. Jess Garcia joins us back. Is this the third consecutive episode in which you?
I think this is like the 4th or 5th episode I'm in. I'm not.
This
gonna
is
lie.
this is nice.
Yeah.
An honorary co-host. A reminder: Cameron Mason is out. Cam, we love you. I hope you want to come back. Have I driven him crazy? Do you guys think
miss
I've
you,
driven
Cam.
him crazy? Have I
Perchance.
pushed Cam to his limits?
Mayhaps.
I think so. I think Cam and I
like
connect
to
on a
see
very nice level, and then you're like mean to him,
No, I'm not mean.
and then I'm like, it's okay.
I remember episode 3. You were mean.
I remember
I
episode
remember
1
everything.
through 3 actually.
I was
We
there.
remember
man.
episodes 1 through 4.
This is 5. This is 5. 4 is already out. You can check it out on the Prospector website, the YouTube channel, Spotify, you name it. But guys, we're talking about hiking. Spring break, which was defined with you guys by hiking. So where'd you guys go? How was it? Was anybody dehydrated?
See.
What you eat
Yes.
after?
Yes.
What
Yes.
what went down? Walk me
Should
through
we
it. Play
talk
by
about
play.
your guys' individual hike for the vlog?
We can
or
talk about ours
should I-
first, and then
yeah,
the
and then
one
we'll
for
talk about
show.
the whole group hike.
Yeah.
Okay, so I took Joe hiking for the first time.
Yeah.
You haven't been
He's
hiking
never
ever?
been hiking before.
I'd never been hiking before then.
And that's you're an athletic guy because you work at the rec and you're like, guys,
Don't
guys, I gotta go.
I don't know where that came from, but I don't work at the rec.
You do. You told us you worked at the rec.
I've never said that in my life.
No, you
No
have. That's
sketching.
I feel like
No, you
Sebastian
also-
got
I
gaslit.
don't work.
no. He said, guys, I
I
work
think
at the
Sebastian
rec.
got gaslit.
Never worked
Okay,
at
or
the
you
rec.
just like to work at the rec, work out at the rec, whatever.
I
You
like
can-
the rec.
You can interchange it however you want. But all right, you went hiking. You took Joe out for the first time.
I took-
Hiking.
So
Yes.
Yes, me and Joe went hiking
Yes.
for the first time. I took him on I was like, oh, it's an easy trail.
What
It's
was it
like
called?
about a mile. The Aztec
Aztec
caves.
Trail? Oh.
But at the end of the trail, you're basically just like crawling vertically to a cave.
It was fun.
It's
It felt
fun.
almost like rock
The
climbing.
acid trails.
The
Aztec.
Aztec
Oh,
cave
okay.
trails.
I thought you guys were were walking on acid for a
No.
second.
No.
That seems pretty
But
dangerous.
no, it was a lot of fun. Like I hadn't been hiking before then, so I don't have any of the proper equipment.
He
that you
fell
should have.
twice.
I fell going up.
Do you have
felt
bruises?
like
I didn't
Do you have
fall.
boo-boos?
it was on camera. Too.
It was on camera.
It was on camera, actually?
Yes.
No, wait.
It's
Can we
in
I'll
show
show you
that?
the video after
Oh,
this.
let's do that. So, do you have boo-boos? Do you need
I
band-aids?
don't think I did. I know I fell on my right knee, but then other than that, like I don't think.
That was
I
really
actually
funny.
hurt
I'm so
myself.
sorry.
It's so
It was-
rude. It's because I don't have hiking boots. So
Oh, you don't need hiking boots.
I mean, no, but it's because like I don't know. Like I guess where I stepped wrong. So like I slipped
Yeah.
going up, and then I took another step, and I slipped again. So like I slept like consecutively. So
Oh,
yeah.
okay, I got you.
we need to show that video on this episode. Exclusive Prospector content live on the podcast.
Pop it up right there.
So then your guys' personal hike, Joe, you fell twice, but
Yes.
did you make it to your end goal of,
Yeah.
of the Aztec Mountain?
We did, and I'm not gonna lie.
the
Joe
Aztec
did-
Trail.
The Aztec Trail. Joe did better than me. I was like
Really?
huffing and puffing by the end of it. Maybe I'm asthmatic. Maybe.
Oh, yeah.
Probably.
Probably.
Maybe. We gotta
So you need to have good stamina and condition in order to
Yeah.
complete one of these hikes.
So we like
Well-
took like maybe like 3 breaks going up, maybe 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I felt like for me, I felt like I didn't really need the breaks.
Oh wow, you're just
Okay,
throwing Jess under the
okay.
bus here,
Yeah.
man.
Well, he is a tennis player. He's got
Yeah, I
stamina.
mean,
Nah,
I
that's
run
true.
a lot.
Yeah.
So
I think it
Yeah.
also depends what hiking trail, because I feel like the one Kristian took us on was like a gradual incline, so that one didn't feel as bad as the
yeah,
one. me
the
and Joe
one
did.
we went on was a constant incline the entire time except for the first break.
That was a pretty big group, by the way, in which you guys
Yeah,
took
so
your
our actual
hiking.
one during spring break, it was like 9 of us?
We went on Thursday at 10 a.m. I want to say 8 or 9 of us.
Why 10?
Because
He
it
liked
gets
that
it can
time.
get hot during the time.
All right.
And I never go during at night because one time I did go at night by myself.
That doesn't sound like a good idea.
It was
you get lost?
actually really
Hey,
nice.
rob me. That's
I
kind of
don't
what
know if
you're.
anyone's gonna
Airlift me out
rob
of the
That's-
mountain.
I don't know if anyone's gonna rob you in the mountains, but I think it's more so
Potentially.
like you can't see.
Well, to me,
anything.
it's like I felt confident
Yeah,
going there. Well, I had a
but
headlight. I had
it's-
everything on. It just is the fact that
Yeah.
I know where to go on these trails. I know how to navigate.
Bro
these.
was
Yeah.
bro was a walking Minecraft character.
no, like he has it like specifically like laid out. Like he knew exactly where we're going.
Yeah, I know the first trail.
You
we're
were
going.
very well prepared.
Yeah,
Like
because I don't want anyone to get hurt.
Yeah.
Because I knew
No, of
if you
course.
fall wrong or you step wrong, that's what I was telling everyone. You have to
you were the
step right.
group leader.
he
Yeah.
was.
I was like
He
a
was,
chaperone.
he
I felt
was.
like because I want to make sure you have your heel set right, then you step down. You know,
Yeah.
different things you have to do.
He was
Wow.
teaching
on
us
different
like
types of
full
terrain.
on technique. He was like, "Oh, this is how you guys fall. Like this is how you specifically do it."
Yeah.
You don't have hiking boots, huh? You didn't go on hiking.
No, I
boots?
just have like thick soles of Adidas
Oh,
running
okay.
shoes. And
So
that's
do you
all.
have experience hiking?
Yes, I do. I like self-experience. You know, just like kind of self-taught. I never
Teach
learned how
yourself,
to.
yeah.
You know, because I had a camelback. You know, those little water bags.
Yeah.
And
I
then-
was jealous of
yeah,
that. I
basic
saw it
things.
and I was like,
That's a
I
nice
really,
bag.
Yeah,
I
and I
really
told
want
everyone
one.
like I remember I told everyone in the group chat like make sure you have a backpack or something so you can put your water in there because you want your hands to be free. It's more of a quality of life kind of thing where you don't have to hold something in your hands all the time. That way you're always balanced. in what
Yeah.
you're doing.
Yeah.
And I think hopefully we have pictures on there.
It's a quality of life kind of thing. I guess that's a good way to put
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
It's really nice. Like,
It was a 2-hour hike. We burned about
You said-
800 calories.
yeah.
I want to say.
and we
and
went to the boss
Wow.
right
it was about
after.
2 hours.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. And
So
I
you
would
guys ate
say-
it all back.
Basically, yeah. We
Yeah.
went to Boss
Let's say
Chicken
It
after.
was so good.
It was so good.
It was so worth it. Like,
So
it felt like a
good. Yeah.
reward.
And some people aren't used to hiking, so I know a lot of people got tired. I felt fine going
Yeah.
up, but it definitely depends on your pace. I told
Who
everyone.
do you think did the best out of all of us? I know Gael did really good.
Gael, honestly, Gael did really good too. I think
Yeah.
you guys did really just fine because we were at a good pace. It all depends on your pace. Cause
So
you know,
it
there's
took you
times
guys
where I walked
2
fast.
total hours to go up the mountain and then you went down the mountain,
Yes.
right?
To go all the way back. It's 2 to 3 hours. It really
Okay.
depends on pace, and it really depends how hard it is, depending on pace.
We
Well,
did
yeah.
take a couple breaks. One was kind of long because I got a phone call.
Oh,
That was
you got
so
a phone
funny.
No,
call.
that was the halfway point. That's why I brought you
Oh,
guys
okay.
to that little.
It was
almost like a canyon.
It was
in a
like
way.
kind of a canyon.
Taking
area.
a
little
business
canal,
call on a hike.
And that's what
Hey.
that's like the first part of it, and then
The
the second
grind
part
don't
was
stop.
going up to the summit of that hill.
Yeah.
Going all the way up.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Because I already had that mapped out. I knew where we were gonna stop. I knew where we.
Yeah,
were gonna
because all of us were very surprised because like we got to that midway point and we thought we were gonna just keep going, and then Christian's like, "Oh no, we're going back up this way, and then we're going up."
So you guys took the long way.
So no, we didn't take like a long way.
It was more of
Like,
a scenic
If
route.
you had to like picture it in any way, you got to a certain point, and then you kind of went back and then kept going upwards. If that makes
'Cause
sense.
it almost looks like a river and how it moves. It's like a whole dried up river.
Yeah.
and how you
It was. I guess you could call it a canyon. It was
Yeah.
basically a canyon.
And I
Or a
remember,
ditch.
I think someone was asking, "Oh, why don't go to the other side?" It's like, no, we can't go this way. I have to go another way to go to the other
Yeah,
side
yeah,
because
yeah,
it's a whole complicated. Because I looked at it before. I've been there by myself, and I remember just looking everywhere, like being there for 3 hours, just moving around. But
It was a lot of
really
fun, though.
It was fun.
I had a lot of fun.
Was that
Hopefully it's
the
gonna be soon.
highlight of your spring break?
Honestly, yeah, that and like
That I think the same day we went bowling too.
yeah.
Oh yeah,
I think that day was probably my
dude, we
spring
burned like
break highlight.
1,500 calories.
Must have.
That was
Sounds like
crazy.
fun.
And then I got
You
food
were in
poisoning.
Sounds like fun.
You were in
Oh,
Ohio.
yeah.
Ohio.
Sounds like
From the
fun.
what?
Yeah,
what?
I got food poisoning from the bowling alley
It
pizza.
tasted-
Oh, you
it
did?
tasted-
I think I
Yeah,
did. Yeah.
the pizza was
So the
bad.
so the bowling balls weren't the only thing being hurled onto the ground, is what I'm
No,
hearing.
Yeah.
Basically.
It's
It's
'cause
Wow.
the pizza tasted like a used briefcase.
It tasted like shoe.
Yeah.
Oh.
It-
Well, what were you expecting from bowling alley
I don't
pizza?
know, it was
Well, I
$5
didn't get
too.
sick. I would say I don't have a very strong.
You know, what I think it is though. Did you wash your hands
I
before you ate?
didn't, but I don't think
That's-
anyone else did.
that's
So
a
I'm
No, I
choice.
did. I put some hand sanitizer.
You know
in
what
it.
I did?
You know?
I didn't eat past the crust. So like where I was holding it, I didn't eat that area.
Past the crust?
Oh,
So like once
yeah.
I like actually ate up to the crust, I stopped eating it.
All right.
I didn't eat the crust.
I guess that's valid. But it's good to hear the giant group hike you guys had.
Yeah.
I
Next
see
time you
that.
should go. It's so much fun.
when you're not in Ohio.
Oh,
That's a good part,
Ohio.
too. I
Hey,
have another trail
To
planned
be
out.
honest,
Yeah.
you were busy, but also you were racking up like awards. Like we saw a lot of those.
I saw that.
Yeah.
I just yapped, man.
You're
I-
a good yapper,
with the-
professional yapper.
Yeah, I was losing my voice. I think it's still, you can still hear it a little bit here if
It's
I'm a
out.
little
Raspy.
It's out.
if I'm a little raspy. It's because I am still recovering from throat irritation. The dust storms have gotten to me, guys, but I will be a-okay, and we're trudging along through this episode, which, by the way, our final segment, don't go bye just yet, because
See what he did there.
we're talking about pop songs and whether or not if boy bands should be making a comeback, because maybe pop songs are a little bit boring in the United States. Who knows? But stay tuned. We're talking about music to this musically inclined teen. And by that, he means that he doesn't really keep up with modern contemporary songs. But don't worry. You're watching the Prospector Podcast Season 12, Episode 5. That's the proper way. We're talking about pop music up next. Don't turn off the tunes because we are ramping them up. Tell me why.
Ain't nothing but a heartache.
Tell me why.
Damn,
Yes.
I don't.
Ain't nothing but a mistake. Tell me why. I never wanna hear this say. I want it that way. If that great acapella,
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
actually,
you.
You
I
in the
think
crowd.
that
We
boy band
love
is
you.
not
if that great acapella didn't musically incline you to listen to the rest of today's episode, then you just don't have any taste. Because Joseph, Joe, Joester, we're talking about boy bands. That's right. A huge thank you once again to Joseph Ezekiel Montero for being today's co-host, filling in for Cameron Mason. We love you, Cam. We hope you're watching Cam. He's not up in the sky.
Rest in peace.
He's not. Joining us back on the podcast is Ximena Cordero, the audience and engagement editor of The Prospector. Making her podcast debut is contributor, photographer, and writer Victoria Valadez, who I went to middle school with.
Oh, really?
We did. Del Valle Middle School, I think Camino Real, when that was still a thing.
Yeah, we went to Camino. first.
We did. We were in orchestra together, so we have a little bit of a musical connection. There's musical background to this segment. Every segment on this show matters, am I right?
Yes.
So we're talking about boy bands, guys. There will be an article released either soon or now as you're watching this over whether or not pop culture in the United States is dying. And if to revive that, then maybe we should have boy bands. I'm going to lift that question in the air and let one of you take it. Do boy bands make pop music as popular for every single person to hear, or are they a little overrated in the role that they play over the genre?
I mean, I think personally, pop culture is not dead in the sense of like we have a lot of pop girls. Like think about like we have Taylor Swift, Beyonce, Tate McRae, Charlie,
Sabrina Carpenter.
Wow, that's a lot,
Sabrina,
actually, now that I think
Olivia,
Chaperone.
Chapel
Chaperone.
Roan. Like I think pop girls
H-O-T-T-O-G-O.
are fine. Like we're fine. And
But
that.
the girls
But
are
the
fine.
pop girls are doing good. I feel like there's
But
not
you
a
think
lot
But
of
we're-
they're
pop
definitely
guys.
carrying.
Yeah.
We're focusing on the scope of all of pop music, though. So one second is doing fine, but does that make up? Like, are we saying a change in pop music then? Like, are we going away from bands necessarily and focusing on more on solo artists, or is it just like its own division that's finding success, but not for the whole industry?
I feel like it is. Like, I feel like it's more than like one singer instead of like a group band. I feel like we haven't seen a band in a while.
Tay-Tay's taken over.
Yeah.
I mean,
Who?
Tay-Tay.
Who would you say is the last boy band, or like even just band?
Was it like
pop
One
band?
Direction?
One Direction.
One Direction?
Like the biggest one, yeah, One Direction.
Was One Direction. But there, once One Direction really kicked off, like there was a lot of boy bands.
Because
What'd you
like
say?
around One Direction time, it was like Big Time Rush. Why
Big Time
Don't We?
Rush.
Oh, I guess
Who's
the
like-
like very
I guess
big
you could
ones.
say the
Wait,
Jonas
was it
Brothers.
American,
Jonas
but, like
Brothers.
Who was the one
BTS?
Jonas brother who like branched off and started
Well,
something?
technically
Nick
Nick
Jonas.
Jonas and
Nick?
Joe Jonas.
Joe Jonas. That's what I'm thinking.
Jealous. Jealous was a huge song that I think helped them
I like that.
take off. And it was also the song of the Nickelodeon Kids' Choice Awards in 2015 when he hosted. That
Did do that actually.
it was the anthem of the song, which I think John Cena made an appearance. This episode just connecting, but I think one of the main staples that you take away from the generation of Big Time Rush, of One Direction, that during that time, Justin Bieber was getting really big in the pop industry. And that's when you see solo artists
That was
start to
prime Justin
trickle
Bieber.
in. And are they beginning to take over the industry to how we see it now?
Well, I mean, that's like it goes back to the pop girls. The girls are doing fine.
They're doing
we don't have a
great.
pop boy though.
But
like,
they're
think
not
about
in.
it.
But they're not in bands though. We're discussing the scope of bands.
think
Like, how do we get away from that?
So I think it was originally 90s. You had
Yeah.
90s going into early 2000s. You had a bunch of boy bands. You had like Backstreet Boys. You had New Kids on the Block. You had NSYNC. But then once you get like mid 2000s to going into 2010, you had all like the actual pop artists. Like you had like Katy Perry. You had who else?
Taylor Swift.
You had Taylor Swift making her debut and stuff like that. But then going into like the 2010s into early like 2013, you had boy bands again. You had Big Time Rush. You had One Direction. You had 5 Seconds of Summer. But then now we're getting back to like the singular artists. Like you have Sabrina Carpenter. You have Chappell Roan. You have Taylor Swift again. So I think we're really just like in like the era of just like singular artists
I
right now.
feel like in pop, it's been like it's not very popular to have a boy band other than like other things like K-pop or rock. It's always a guy group, but I feel like we don't see that enough in pop culture.
Do you have a favorite boy band?
Well, I love Linkin Park and the Offspring, but they're obviously like rock based
Yeah.
or
do you-
alternative rock, I guess.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite like pop band? What do you say?
Not really.
No.
I feel like again, it's just like the girlies are going out there, but like it's not really a group thing.
No.
So
Well, they're
or
doing
I guess
great.
like I feel like the K-pop bands were like out there, and I feel like they were bringing back the group bands, but they come down for a little bit. Like I guess it was really big with BTS, but then like I haven't heard anything big up.
Didn't they go
with
to the
them.
military?
Yeah, they went to the. I think
Oh.
that's. what
Yeah, I was gonna
happened.
say. I think they got shipped off.
I
But
feel like if
also-
Oh
they
my
would-
god!
if
It's
they would have continued, maybe group bands would have been like back.
You think so? I feel like they
I
were.
think so.
I
I
mean,
feel like
yes, they people like them here,
Yeah.
but they,
BTS is K-pop.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it was very like
I mean, it's
Korean
still
based. They didn't
pop.
really like make anything popular here though.
When
Like I
we're,
mean,
when we're
Yeah,
looking at
for
the
sure. Like
at-
I feel like most of my friends like K-pop.
yes, but we're talking about how like that's K-pop, and we're talking about like what the separation between K-pop and like American pop, like how different it is.
when you look at the pop songs of the 2020s, the ones that dominate are "Blinding Lights" by The Weeknd, "Happier Than Ever" by, I believe this is Billie Eilish. I'm sorry, "Birds of a Feather." You have "Circles" by Post Malone. You
Is
have
that
"Watermelon Sugar" by Harry Styles.
Do you consider Billie Eilish pop?
Would you
this is
say there's some poppy songs?
I mean, Billie. I feel like it depends. Like sometimes she can.
I thought
"Birds
she
of a
was,
Feather."
I thought she was more
She's just like
alternative.
alternative.
Yeah, I feel like she's an alternative pop
Yeah.
at most.
Birds of a Feather, I would not say that is pop.
Yeah, I don't. Wouldn't say.
No.
Because when I think I pop, I think of like I'm not like Taylor Swift, like 1989. Like that
Yeah,
was like
yeah,
pop.
that makes sense.
That was pop. Like that was just straight up.
Yeah, but like you say Billie Eilish, I don't consider her a pop star.
Do you guys still think though that the pop industry, as of right now, is strong? It can hold its own.
Oh yeah,
Definitely.
Because name some songs, because you have making
Espresso.
around. But what else?
Literally-
What outside of Sabrina Carpenter?
Olivia
Hot to
Rodrigo.
go. Olivia Rodrigo.
Oh
Is
my God.
Rodrigo pop?
Yeah.
Yeah.
definitely.
I feel like I'm getting
She's-
schooled right now in these lessons.
She's like pop. You can maybe say
She's
pop
like some
punk,
pop, like punk rock
She's
kind
not
of
really-
thing.
but
she's pop. For sure.
yeah.
Well, she's punk. Yeah.
Punk?
Yeah.
You consider the song "Driver's License" punk?
No.
No,
No.
well, obviously
some of her
not that,
songs.
like,
Oh, she made
album.
one about a vampire. What? Right? Is she the
Yeah.
one that made on
Yes.
Beetle?
Still
Yeah.
not one
That's
of
also
them.
not one.
not
No.
I would say like "Good for You" or something
Good
like
for
that.
you. From her new album, I would say maybe like Obsessed.
I don't think I
Or-
heard that one.
It's like deluxe, so
Oh,
off of
the deluxe version.
deluxe version. Let me think. Hold on.
Because like you're saying like Billie Eilish.
Or
like,
Ballad of a
that's-
Homeschool Girl. Like that was like I think nominated for like a rock category.
Yeah.
I feel like a
So-
lot of old artists like Taylor Swift, Katy Perry, Ariana Grande are coming back.
Totally forgot Ariana Grande was a person.
Oh man.
Sorry, Miss Linda.
So then,
Oh yeah, that's right. She was.
so then we've clarified that the pop industry is pretty healthy as of right now. But right now, the
Absolutely.
big game changers are shifting more towards individual artists, the majority of which are female artists making the round. Taylor Swift, with what I think was a comeback with the Eras tour back in the 2020s, late 2010s. Not many people were talking about her. Then she just comes in with the Eras tour,
Yeah.
takes over the world. Olivia Rodrigo's rise was started when Driver's License came out. Then she's just kept growing and growing and growing. Sabrina Carpenter came out of the woodworks from Disney Channel to be the figure that she is now.
Industry plant.
You think an industry plant?
No, I don't-
Whoa!
Well, wait, I
I
wanna-
see.
I wanna
Ximena,
hear
I
your
want to hear
opinions.
rebuttal.
Okay.
I was making a joke,
She
but I
was
want
an
to hear it.
opener for the Eras tour, the biggest tour of the
Was she?
century. Yeah. And
The biggest tour of the century.
she got that. She got that award. That's all I'm saying.
But who gave her that award?
MTV or Billboards? One
By
of
the
those
way,
two.
Ximena
You
is
wouldn't consider
the
that
Oscar.
the of the
I would-
century?
I would
I would
say I don't
definitely-
The
think
century.
anybody-
The show of the century?
I don't
This-
think anybody can come out with a tour and have that much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
That's-
remember
It was
I would
so
see
long,
posts
and it
of
was like-
people being outside of the arena and still going crazy.
Yeah.
Like they couldn't
I
even
can't think of
they
an
couldn't
artist
buy
who
a
can top
ticket,
it.
and
Like,
they were still like, "Oh my gosh, I love this."
like whether you like her or not, like that tour was insane.
Yeah.
She's averaging
Yeah, that's what it is.
67,487 fans per show.
That's insane.
It surpassed U2's 360 tour in the sphere.
And imagine starting ticket prices were probably like $200.
It
Not
was-
even. I feel like it was more.
Yo,
Maybe
I
even
spent
more.
a lot. on
Did you?
that.
Wait,
Did
you went?
go?
I went.
Where did you go?
I will say I'm not as big as a Swiftie as it was back then because they're kind of insane now.
Uh-huh.
But it was like.
Where did you go though?
I went
like,
to
where was it?
Denver.
Oh, okay.
And that
That's not
one-
too far.
That one was insane.
Your
I
ticket
think
price was either 1,000 to 12,000.
Wow.
It was
How
not
much was it?
12,000.
Was it worth it?
You dropped a
it-
band?
Yeah. But
You
it was
dropped a band for
1,000
Taylor?
That's a class right there. Those are textbooks
That's
right there.
tuition.
Wait, but
That
like,
was-
how much do you pay for the ticket?
1,000 for 2 tickets.
For two. For two.
For 2.
Was
So
it
was
worth
like
it?
500
It was
each.
very much
where
so
were
worth
the
it.
seats? Where were the
Oh,
seats?
dude, I was on the floor, stage right here. I was like right. Like,
Really?
Yeah, it was like a
What?
couple rows in front of me.
For
When did you buy
$500?
this ticket?
I didn't buy it
The
when
black market?
No, I wasn't there. It wasn't when like the tour initially dropped. You can sign up to get it if there was any seats available. Like after everything was purchased.
So you got like the pre-show ones?
I
Not
got, like, the-
pre-sale
the-
tickets.
Not even like we couldn't get the pre-sale ones. They literally ran out, or we thought they ran out. But then they were like, "Hey, sign up here for a chance to
Sign up. Where's here?
Oh, like the official like Taylor
Okay.
Swift thing.
Oh wow.
And then like one like random Tuesday night, it's because my dad like signed up for it too, and then my sister, and then me, and then my mom. So
and
4
your
chances.
your dad won the chance?
So you did
My-
say
our
you're a
dad won the
Swiftie,
chance.
That's
but
so
Wow.
funny.
You did all of this, and you
Oh,
said you
my
were a Swiftie.
sister was a
Oh,
really
okay,
big Swiftie at that time.
So who went? You said you got 2 tickets. Obviously,
At
and
that
your
time,
sister.
what do
You
you
and your
mean?
sister
When
went.
did you
Mhm.
go? When did you go?
it was summer 2023. Like a,
so like
Wow.
almost 2 years ago.
it was the first leg, first
The
first leg.
yeah.
And then she went to Denver, and I was there.
Wow.
But I will say, very
Worth it?
Very worth it. I think
Really?
even if you don't like Taylor Swift, seeing that concert, I was because at that even when I went, I wasn't as big because my sister was.
So your sister was the Swiftie.
My sister was like a big one.
Are you a Swiftie now?
I would not like insane Swiftie,
Casual Swiftie.
but I will listen to. Like, I'm
Okay.
not gonna be a hater of Taylor Swift. I'm not.
No, definitely. Yeah.
Except her like latest album. My bad. Sorry,
That
did
one
not like that one.
wasn't really
I feel like even though if you're not Swiftie, you still like Taylor Swift because it was like a good
Yeah.
part of her like teenage
Yeah.
years.
I think
But-
you could still go and really appreciate it.
Do we
Yeah.
consider Taylor Swift as a representation of the pop industry?
Yes.
Or has
For
that
sure.
Yeah.
her
Yes.
over Sabrina Carpenter?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
I mean,
I mean,
Sabrina
I mean, of
Carpenter?
course,
Yeah.
Sabrina Carpenter is super popular.
What about
right now.
Gaga? Swift v. Gaga. Because Gaga recently released Abracadabra. I haven't heard many of the
feel like-
songs. I saw she I saw she hosted Saturday Night Live. Her trying to make a comeback. Do you put her over Gaga? Do you put her over someone like Drake's attempts to make what I think is like close to pop music? If you can consider that.
I would say at least the Lady Gaga. I don't know. That's different demographics.
It is,
to me.
but also I mean like Lady Gaga's like a household name. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like she's been here for such a long, and so has Taylor Swift. But like I mean, you have to give credit where credit is due. Like Taylor Swift's like Eras tour was like probably the biggest thing to come out of the 20s. Like that's
Really?
probably
Yeah.
one
That
of,
is-
if
Yeah.
not the biggest thing to come
It
out
was
of the
like
20s.
so big. A bunch of people went to it. Everyone was talking about it. Everyone wants like to know what Taylor Swift is doing. It was such a long tour too.
Basically all of 24 or 23 that it was just like Taylor Swift was
Yeah.
like
And
you
then
couldn't
she-
go a day on like Instagram or
Literally.
like
Yeah,
anything
without
without
nothing.
seeing
So
Taylor
then
Swift.
let's get everyone's opinions then, and I want to go one by one. What do you think is the current state of the pop industry, and where is it going? We'll start with you, Victoria.
Oh, I feel like the pop music is doing really good. Again, with the girls, they're really carrying it. I feel like there's not
Absolutely.
really a guy. Like I know the Weeknd is there, but is he even
Harry
pop?
Styles?
I think the Weeknd
If
is
he
that
comes back.
isn't
I
the
don't think
Weeknd like
Harry Styles
releasing
does
The Weeknd's
a lot of,
R&B.
Like, popular music.
Yeah, I would consider the Weeknd to be more R&B.
Well, you can also make some cases that some of his he tried to be poppy. I
So-
remember there was
It's just I
some that
feel
came
like-
So
out.
I think we like the way we're looking at it is like the artist is definitely like a certain genre, but that doesn't mean they can't release songs that are for a different genre. Like
Yeah,
how
pretty
like
much.
Beyonce released like a country song.
I just feel like if an artist
The
is
very
like,
loved Cowboy
big
Carter.
enough, if an artist is like big enough, or it's because like my mom knows it, like my Mexican
Oh.
mom knows it.
Okay.
You know, like
That's a pretty good
So
so
scale.
which
which
people-
ones
yeah.
does she know?
she knows like for sure Taylor Swift
Yeah.
and Sabrina Carpenter.
Yes, she should.
You know, like she knows the biggest artists because they are the biggest artists, and
Yeah.
I feel like other people, like everyone knows them,
Mm.
not just like if I ask her who's Olivia Rodrigo, she won't know.
She don't know.
And I
Okay.
feel like that's what it means to be a good artist.
I like that scale. Ximena, how about
That
you?
is a very good scale,
I
actually.
agree with that actually.
Yeah.
Because like if I tell my dad and my mom, of course know who like Taylor Swift is, who
Yeah.
Sabrina Carpenter is, because we've been like, oh, this is Sabrina
It's
Carpenter.
Tay-Tay!
It's Tay-Tay. Like stuff just comes up on the radio or like on a video, and it's like, oh, they know.
They know who it is.
Oh, also I'm sorry. Also, like Ariana Grande, like my mom was like put on the Oscar show when they sang, cause she wanted to know how it went. So like if my mom wants to like know how it went,
That's how you know they matter.
that's how they know.
Ah.
When you know, you know.
when you know, you
And when
know.
your mom wants
When
to watch,
Victoria's
they're pretty
mom know.
popular.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mom's approval. How about you, Joe? Where do you think the industry's at, and where is it going?
I think right now where it's at, it's very female-led, which is great because they are absolutely carrying it. They're killing it. They're knocking it out the park. Taylor Swift, Sabrina Carpenter, Ariana Grande, Chappell Roan, some of the biggest names of 2020, and like they're just carrying it. And I think they're just gonna keep continuing to carry it just because like the music they make, it's so popular. Like you turn on the radio, Taylor Swift. You turn on the radio again, Sabrina Carpenter. You change the channel, oh it's Chappell Roan now. So, I mean, it's very led by them, and I think it's going to be led by them for, like, a good while. Probably until, like, 2030, honestly.
Here's a
Maybe
nice
further
discussion
on.
point for the people in the comments or the viewers. And this was a debate topic when I was in Ohio. Will Sabrina Carpenter be the next Taylor Swift? Think about that for a second. I dare to say yes in 10 years. And that's because I like Sabrina Carpenter's
10 years,
music. It's catchy and it's well. We'll see where we're at in 10 years. But guys, thank you so much for giving me a lesson in pop history. I'm going to go study about pop culture now because I don't know as much as I should about the industry. What you should do is subscribe to the Prospector YouTube channel. A huge thank you for joining us on Season 12, Episode 5. Victoria Valadez, Ximena Cordero, thank you so much for joining us. Joseph Ezekiel Montero, thank you for co-hosting alongside
for
Kristian
having me.
Hernandez. I'm Sebastian Perez-Navarro. Once again, hit that subscribe button. You can find us on YouTube, our website, and Spotify. But for now, we're over and out.